Hi, welcome to my video on the standard form of parabola part 2. Change vertex form to standard form. Previous video was on the vertex form. Now let's change the vertex form to a standard form. Remember, standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. To do that, we have to get rid of the square on the binomial, so we go x minus 2 times x minus 2, subtract 3, because when we square it, I multiply by itself, and we multiply that out by FOIL, x times x squared, x times negative 2, negative 2x, negative 2 times x, negative 2x, negative 2 times negative 2 is 4 minus 3, and we simplify, we get x squared minus 4x plus 1. Standard form, y equals 1x squared minus 4x plus 1. And number 2, we do the same. This time we have a 4. We have a x plus 1 squared is x plus 1 times x plus 1 minus 6. The square is written down, when a binomial square is written down twice. So what I do, I multiply by FOIL first, and I get x times x is x squared, x times 1 is 1x, or x. 1 times x is x, 1 times 1 is 1. And I simplify the bracket, x squared plus 2x plus 1. Then I multiply by 4, 4x squared plus 8x plus 4 minus 6. So y equals 4x squared plus 8x minus 2. So that's the vertex form. Notice the vertex is negative 1, negative 6. And over here, this is the vertex form. And the vertex of this parabola is x is 2 and y is negative 3. And these are the standard forms. And number 3, do it again. Y equals negative 2 bracket x minus 3, x minus 3 plus 12. I'm squaring this binomial. I wrote it down twice. I will multiply the two binomials first by FOIL. X times x, x squared, x times negative 3, negative 3x, negative 3 times x, negative 3x, negative 3 times negative 3 is a 9. And I always simplify first, x squared minus 6x plus 9, done, because these are two like terms. And why I do that, the multiplying by negative 2 makes it easier. So I get negative 2 times this trinomial, negative 2x squared plus 12x minus 18 plus 12. So that equation becomes y equals negative 2x squared minus 6x plus 12. That's the standard form. A is negative 2, B is negative 6, C is 12. Okay, let's do some more work. Find the standard form for each parabola, but you notice I have a vertex and a passing through a point. So this is parabola. So that's the vertex, but I know that's the h, comma, k, and this is the x and the y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the vertex form first, and then I'm going to do what I did up here. I'm going to multiply it out to get the standard form. And there's no other way that I know than what I'm showing you here. So y equals, the vertex form is x minus h all squared plus k. So I put the h and the k in first. That's a 2, so that becomes a minus 2. And a minus 1 stays the same. And I put the h and the k in. And now I'm going to put the x and the y in. So y is 5 and x is 2. Done. Now I'm going to simplify this. I got a 2 now. What did I do that for? So I put the h and the k in here and came up with x minus 2 all squared minus 1. Now I put the 5 in and the 2 in. I put the 2 in the place of x, but I also by mistake. I put it in the place of a, but I'm not supposed to. So I got to find the value of a. So that's 2 minus 2 is 0. And then I square root of 0 to get 0. So that's a 0 minus 1. And what happens? I can't convert it to standard form. I got a 0, so 5 equals 4. Because the vertex is right on the vertex right here is, the vertex is 2, negative 1, which is right there. And this point is 2, 5. So let's explain. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 5 is there. So I cannot have, this is impossible to do. Why? Because when I draw my parabola that is opening up with this point is inside of my parabola. Or I could have my parabola open down like this if I wanted to. But that point does not lie on the parabola. So this is impossible. I can't get the equation based on what I just did. So that's sort of a little bit tricky if you were looking at that. Sorry, that's a negative 1 right there. This is 0 minus 1 is a negative 1. So this one can't work. I can't get the equation. So let's try another one. So again, I have an h, comma, k, and I have x and y. Let's see if this one works out. Y equals a, x minus h all squared plus k. And I put the h and the k in. When I put the h in, I have to change the sign. Negative 3 becomes a plus 3, and the k becomes a 0. So this equation can simplify because it's a 0. Then I can make the equation like that. Now I'm going to put the negative 1 in the x and the negative 4 in place of y. Negative 1. So y is negative 4, x is negative 1. So we continue. The inside becomes a 2. And let's go up here. And I have 4. And that's 2 square root of 4, so that's a 4a. And I can move it, or I can divide both sides by 4 right now. Or I could flip it around and go negative 4a equals positive 4. Or I can just divide by 4 right now. Cancel the 4. A becomes negative 1. But if I flip it around and move the a over, then I get the negative 4a equals 4 because I'm moving each. Or I have a choice. I can go just 4a equals negative 4. I can flip both of them around without changing either one of them. Or I can move them and, like I did here, move this to the left and make it negative, move this to the right and make it positive. No matter what I do, I'll get a to be negative 1. In all cases, I'm just showing you some. So a is negative 1. So I have y equals a is negative 1. So that's a 1x plus 3 squared. And that's a 0, so I don't have to put in, but I will. Now that's still vertex form. So I have to go x plus 3 times x plus 3. And do FOIL on that, which is x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. So the equation is x squared plus 6x plus 9. And again, this one worked out, whereas this one I can't do. Again, repeat, the vertex is 2, negative 1, and this point will not lie on the parabola because the parabola spreads out. Either the parabola goes up with this point in between the two sides of the parabola, or the parabola goes down, which means the point doesn't lie on it. So that's why this one can't be done. And let's continue. Let's see what else we have here. Find a standard form for each parabola. Again, we have a vertex and a y-intercept. So that's the h and the that's the k, and that's the y-intercept. The y-intercept is the point of 0, -2. So that's the x and the y. Because the y-intercept is on the y-axis and the x-coordinate is 0. So that means we plug it into the vertex form, which is this form. So I'll sub in the h. The minus becomes a plus, -1 becomes a +1, minus the 4. Now I'll put y is -2 and x is 0 in the equation. And I will work out, that's a 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 squared is 1, so that's an a, 1a. So I can leave the a where it is, or I can move the a over. The a will move to the left, become negative. The 2 will move to the right, become positive. So negative a is -2. So negative a is -2. A must be just 2 divided by -1. So we have an equation, y equals, I'm going to put 2 in here, so it's 2 into x. I'm going to put 2 right here or here to make it different, but this is the equation. So I already have an x plus 1 squared minus 4. So now I put the 2 back in the equation, which is right here. And now I have to work out the standard form, because what we have right here is vertex form. We just take our time and do FOIL, x squared plus x plus x plus 1. And as I do, I simplify that multiplication. X plus x is 2x. Now I multiply by 2. So I multiply 2 by this bracket, and that simplifies to 2x squared plus 4x minus 2. So I worked out, because I got a vertex and a point on it, I worked out the vertex form first and then completed the square on that, squared it out, and wrote it in standard form. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. A is 2, b is 4, c is -2. And we have another vertex here, and we have an x-intercept. So the vertex is h comma k, and the x-intercept is the point x-intercept, x is 4, and y is 0, because an x-intercept lies on the x-axis, the y-coordinate is 0. So let's plug in. I'm going to plug the h and the k in first. So I got a +2, so that makes it a -2, and k is -1. Remember, we change this number in the equation when you're in a bracket. Anytime anything is in a bracket in math, it will change to the opposite sign. So if that's x -2, then it's a 2, and not the outside. Now we'll plug in y is 0, and x is 4. That's the x and the y. Y is 0 and x is 4. Done. 0 equals. So 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So that's a 4a minus 1. So that means that -4a equals -1. So -4a equals divided by -4. So a becomes -1/4. So we plug that in the equation. A is -1/4. X minus 2 squared minus 1. Now we have to take our time and square x minus 2. Write it down twice. And we do the FOIL on that. X times x, x squared, x times -2. -2 times x, -2x, -2 times -2 is a +4. And that gives us, we simplify the bracket first, x squared minus 4x plus 4. And the equation becomes multiplied by 1/4, quarter times x. Negative 1/4 times negative 4 is x. Negative 1/4 times 4. Negative 1/4 times negative 4x is plus x. Negative 1/4 times 4 is minus 1. Minus 1. So the equation becomes y equals negative 1/4 x squared plus x minus 2. That's the equation in standard form. A is 1/4, B is plus 1, and C is negative 2. And I left the best one to last. Notice I have a y-intercept of negative 3 through these 2 points, but these 2 points don't have any coordinates the same, so they're not any intercepts, no zeros. They're not split apart. They're not any x-intercepts because there's no y equals zeros. So this one is different. So I got y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So if the y-intercept is negative 3, that means the y is negative 3 and the x is 0. So we'll sub in negative 3. We're going to sub negative 3 in the place of x and negative 3 in the place of y and 0 in the place of x. So what that gives us is 0 squared is 0 times a is 0. 0 times b is 0. So that's y is negative 3a is 0. So it works out to be that negative 3, add them up, c is negative 3. That means the equation is ax squared plus bx minus c. So that y-intercept made the c equal to negative 3. Now I got to use these 2 points. Notice I have an equation with x and y in it, but I also have 2 unknowns of a and b that I got to find. So let's take one equation at a time. Sorry, 1 point at a time. Let's take the point 2, 5 and sub it into the equation. And y is x and y. So y is 5, x is 2, and when we try to simplify this equation, we get 2 squared, so that's a 4a. B times 2 is 2b minus 3. So if I bring the 4a over, bring the 2b over to the left side, minus 3, 5 moves to the right, become minus. So I get a negative 4a minus 2b equals negative 8. So what about if I take this other point and work out the same way? So let's take y equals ax squared plus bx minus 3 again, the same equation, and use the point negative 2, negative 3 for x and y. So y is negative 3, a is negative 2, y is negative 3, x is negative 2, so I got a negative 2 squared. B is okay, x is negative 2, so there's the equation. Simplify. Negative 2 squared is 4, so that's a 4a minus 2b minus 3. Move the 4a to the left, minus, move the 2b, negative 2b to the left to make it a plus, negative 3b plus 3. So 4a plus 2b equals 0. So notice now I have 2 equations with a's and b's. So we did a unit earlier on solving a system of equations, linear equations with 2 variables. So this is what this comes out to be. So this is equation 1, and this is equation 2. So if I take these 2 equations and copy them down, let's put them down right here. Done, that's equation 1. And I copy the second one down. Notice I got them written as A, B, and a number, A, B, and a number. And notice that the b's are opposite of each other, so I can just add them up. And I get 8a equals -8, divide by -8, and I get a to be 1. So I have c right here, I have a to be 1, so all I need to do is get the b. So to get the b, I can put the a value into the equation 1 or into equation 2. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sub 1 for a into 2. So a is 1. So I put 1 in. 2b equals 4. Divide by 2. B is 2. So I have a is 1. I have b is 2. And I have c is 3. So if I plug that into y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, a is 1. Let's see, a is 1. So I put a 1 here, so that's 1x squared. B is 2. C is -3. So I have equation of a parabola in standard form, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. There it is, which has this y-intercept of -3 and has passes through these 2 points. So the y-intercept is -3. If you put 0 in this equation, you'll see y is -3. If you take the 2 and the 5 and put it in place of the x and the y and work it out, the equation is true. If you take these 2 points, or take this point, the x and y values, and sub it in here also, you'll work out the equation to be true. So that's the equation that's in standard form. Just a little bit different. But what did I do? I used the unit that we learned earlier. This is what you do in calculus too. You always go back to earlier math that you've learned, skills. And they're not, everything works out. And if you like my video, click the like button, the subscribe button, and a notification bell. And visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. That's the content that's on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Bye-bye.